Hi everyone, my name is Zees, and today I'm going to be teaching you how to do multiplication with zeros. So right now you can see a bunch of examples here that have zeros in them. So all these numbers, they have some zeros in them, and I'll teach you how easy it is to multiply those numbers. So if you already know your multiplication a little bit, or you have like a table that you refer to when you multiply, there's no difference in when there's zeros in those numbers. So for example, we have 20 times 8. How would you do that? You take the 2 and the 8. You ignore the 0. For the first step, you ignore the 0 completely. So you go 2 and 8. What's 2 times 8? Well, 2 times 8 is 16. You write your 16 here. That's about 6. You write your 16 here, and then you see that, hey, there's a 0 there. All you do is you add a 0. So there's 1 0, so you add 1 0. And your answer is 160. So 20 times 8 is 160. If you just had 2 times 8, that would be 16. If you had 20 times 8, it's 160. If you had 2 times 80, that's also 160. Okay, so the next example here is 5 times 1,000. Again, what do? You ignore the zeros and you look at the 5 and you look at the 1. So you look at all the numbers apart from the zeros. And you see 5 times 1. And what's your answer? 5 times 1 is 5. Very simple. 5 times 1 is 5. And what's your next step? Add the zeros to your answer. So you have 1, 2, and 3 zeros. In this last example, we had just 1 0. Now you have 3 zeros. So what are you going to do? You're going to add 3 zeros, and that's the easiest way. Oops, this is really bad. That's the easiest way to know what your answer is. 5 times 1 is 5, so 5 times 1,000 is just 5,000. So for the next example, we have 700 times 60. So don't be taken aback by before all our examples were 20 times 8. So there's one number with 0, one number without, again, one number without a 0, and one number with zeros. In this example, we have both numbers with zeros. What's the difference? There's no difference. You take the 7, that's your first step, and the 6, first step. 7 times 6 is 42, I believe. I really hope I'm not wrong because that would be embarrassing, but I think it's 42. Let me double check that actually. 7 times 6 is 42. I'm correct. Okay. And then what's our next step? Same as before. You have 1 0, 2 0, 3 zeros. So what do? You add 3 zeros. You add all the number of zeros that you have in your total question in the main problem. All the zeros you see, you just add them. And so here you add 3 zeros, here you add 1 0, and here in total you have 2 zeros in the 700 and 1 0 in the 60, but together you have 3 zeros in your problem. So you add the 3 zeros and your answer is 42,000. So for here you have 20 times 12. So again, ignore the 0. 2 times 12. So you don't take like the 1 and the 2 separately and start adding them 2 times 1 times 2. No, it's 2. That's your first number. Ignore the 0, only 0. And the second number is 12. So what's 2 times 12 is? 24. 2 times 12 is 24. And then how many zeros do you see? Just 1. So you add 1 0. 20 times 12 is 240. And like I said, it would be the same as the opposite. If you had the 0 here, here instead of on the 20, if you had 2 times 120, the answer would be the exact same thing. You would say 24, and you would add 0. So for this one, you have 4 times 6, which is, it's also 24 actually. 4 times 6 is 24. But instead of the last example, we have 2 zeros in our problem. So you add 1 0, then you add another 0. 2,400. And what would you do if there was 40 times 600? So if there was another 0 here, you would just add another 0 here, right? That's just for an example. Okay, 500 times 3. So again, ignore the zeros. 5 times 3 is 15. 1, 5. That's 15. And how many zeros do you see? You see 1, 2. You see 2 zeros. So that's 1, 2. 2 zeros. And so 500 times 3 is 1500. And similarly, 5 times 300 would be 1500. Yeah, that's about it for my examples. I suggest you keep practicing more. Just take any two numbers and add zeros with them. That's what I did. I took like a 2 and a 12 and I added a 0 somewhere randomly. Just practice those and you'll see the answer is always, 4 times 6 is 24. You just add the zeros. So whatever the answer would be without the zeros is the same answer, except now it's with the zeros. Whatever you have on one side, you add to the other side. And yeah, I hope you all enjoyed this video, and I'll see you all next time.